he's listening. But this one we picked up for $525,000. One of the great things about this deal is that it's seller financing. Hey guys, it's Jimmy Tang with Tang Real Estate, and we're here at our newest project in Greenwood. So we acquired this off market through one of our agents that brought it to us. We picked this up for $525,000. Put down $100,000. Interest rate is 5% interest only payment for 7 years, so until 2030. And one of the clauses that we put into the contract is that if we happen to sell this property or we need to refinance for the construction loan when the permit's ready, is that we can actually take his note and move it to a different property, as long as the collateral that we move it to is going to have enough cash flow to cover his monthly payment. $425,000 at 5%. The monthly payment equals out to be about $1,700 a month plus property tax and insurance. Maybe that'd be $1,850 a month. Definitely can rent out this 2 bedrooms, I believe 1.5 bath or so, for probably at least $2,000 a month in this area. So definitely a little cash flow, but that helps because we can use that money to work on our soft costs, which is architects, surveys, and all that for our permits. One of the great thing about this deal is that it's seller financing. What is the advantage of a seller wanting to do seller financing? One, they delay their capital gains tax, right? They can still earn passive income, but without the hassle of being a landlord. There definitely is a perk to continue getting that monthly interest check without the hassle of dealing with tenant issues or home maintenance issues. We have this seller finance until 2030, so 7 years. So the strategy here is that we can clean it up and rent it out for the next couple years while we work on permits to do another single family ADU DADU project. If you're a seller or homeowner that is tired of being a landlord or wanting to sell your property but don't want your money sitting in the bank, that's just another option of selling it with seller financing to continue getting interest. Every time we look at an offer, we normally give the seller a couple options. Number one is the cash option that we can close quickly. Number two, it'd be close on permits, which is usually a year away. A third option would be to seller finance, right? That way, this option is you can close quicker, get a hefty down payment, and then they can just move on while accepting a monthly interest payment. Of course, the first two options, the price would be lower because we need to close quicker. So definitely, every time we look at a project, we give the seller these three options and then allow them to pick depending on their situation. So the plan is to fix it up a little bit and then rent it out so that we can cover the monthly mortgage, and then we'll start working on permits for a single family ADU DADU. For this site, actually, we can do 6 DADUs. The zoning is different here. It's not single family zoning. This zoning is RSL, which is residential small lot. So we're allowed to do 2,200 square feet per 2,000 square foot lot. So we're putting like a 1,100 square foot single family plus another 1,100 square foot DADU. Times that by 3, so we have 6 total. Surprisingly, this is a very long and deep lot. Oh man, I get excited, like it's just the more room, the more space, the more you can design and different layouts, parking. The space allows you to just be more creative, right? The bigger the lot is. So I get excited. My creative juice starts flowing and just thinking of all the ways that we can use the space. And it's definitely the fact that there's not a lot of trees around here, except they're outside in the perimeter. I mean, it's just a huge plus on this site. So like this is a plum tree, so we'll eat all the plum before we take it down, but maybe we can save it actually. Because it was seller financing, one of the reasons why a seller would want to do the seller financing is that they want to close, right? Because they're not going to wait a year for your permits and then do seller financing. The perk for them is they get monthly interest right away. Right now, we'll just start working on permits, clean up the mess, try to make it as rentable as possible without putting too much into it. This is definitely not a long-term rental because, we're just going to be putting somebody in here with probably below market rent. Well, we're not going to build until probably another 12 months while we're working on permits, but it'll be our first project that we're doing that's on RSL zoning. So that's a little bit different from single family zoning. As far as once you're done, you have to do something called a unit lot subdivision to get separate parcels, versus when you're on single family zoning and you do the SFR ADU data, you got to condo it to get your legal parcels, versus on RSL zonings, you know, you do a different process similar to townhouses. Like, see, example of that, how that sits in the middle. I don't know if he's listening, but so one of the things that I keep talking about, trees and things to avoid on a lot, it's that one. How it sits right in the middle of the lot. Gonna make it difficult to build, so you gotta build around it, because that looks like an exceptional tree that you're not gonna be able to take down. So make sure you factor that in, because you're gonna lose 1 or 2 units. That's exactly what you wanna look for or to avoid. But yesterday when I went to meet that guy in the back, somehow I thought it was this guy here. I walked in and this dog came out and I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, you're not John? He's like, no. I was like, oh shit, is this not the right house? And I thought it was that house, but then I looked at the email again and, oh man. All right guys, there you have it. It's Jimmy with Tang Real Estate. Stay tuned and we'll be updating you with every phase of this project. Make sure you like and subscribe. Click on the link below.